This feature is going to be the biggest cheat code from Meta, but 90% of creators don't know how to use it yet. And if you are experiencing this struggle of growing on Threads, this is for you. Because as many, I've scaled from 17 to now 14.1K followers and 1.5K monthly recurring revenue as a result of Threads and hopping on this stuff early. You can just take the templates I'm going to be giving you and the cheat sheet, the checklist, and just go and implement it straight away. If you do, you'll be ahead of everyone who is still figuring out how to use this feature. Here is our roadmap. What this feature is, the algo, the Power 10 and Friendship. Now, a lot of that stuff is going to sound like random jargon. And if you don't know what any of it means, you shouldn't, because we're going to go into it, but bear with me. So firstly, what is this Friendship thing that I've spoken about? What is this button? What is the add interest? So I'll share my iPhone screen and you can have a look at what exactly I am referring to. This is a mobile-only feature for now. If you go to your Threads profile on mobile, it will be here. Some of you might not have this yet. It's being rolled out. Other people will. That being said, don't think it's just something you put under your bio and that's it. It's so much more than that. And we'll be going into how this will explode your Threads growth if you think about this tactically in the way that I'm going to be describing. The feature is this add interest button. If you go to your mobile now and have a look, if you see a little plus button there, maybe it will have a little sparkle. That means you have access to it. If you don't, you'll have access to it very shortly. And when you do, come back to this video. It will be uploaded in Saints College. Yeah, very soon, Anastasia. What we're about to go through, if you don't have access to it yet, still follow along because you'll be able to benefit from it in a other way, which I'll get to soon. But this is what it is. So think about this add interest feature, chips. Think about this Threads growth tag as one chip, and then first thread is a second chip. Think about these chips as it's like the Netflix categories. Netflix is basically giving your movie a category to go within on Netflix. And then that way it's going to appear to the tens of millions of people who have Netflix beneath that category, say drama or experimental or adventure, whatever. Provided these categories are legit, if you can show up in drama, action, sci-fi, documentary, romance, etc., you have more reach on Netflix, right? Because you're showing up in more categories. That is what the chips feature is on Threads. Why does this matter? Because Meta has already confirmed that tags, and by the way, this is a tag in a post. You see here, I've got my pin post, my handle, and then first thread. First thread is a tag. Meta has already confirmed that tags boost your reach. Now, I've got the specific statistic here. I'll be answering any questions in the chat at the end. The point is that tags will get better reach with the same post that has no tag. What does that mean? We should use tags. Whenever a new feature comes out, think about why Meta has released this. It's because they want someone coming onto the platform to their chips in their bio. And then that is an easy way for them to explore their own interests on the platform. Long term, that means that if they're easily able to find their interests on the platform, that means they're going to stay on the platform longer, right? They're not going to churn, they're not going to bounce because they've found their interests and they've found their people. That's why Threads and Meta have introduced the chips feature. They want new people coming onto Threads to stay on Threads, which ultimately means more money in Zuck's pocket. So reverse engineering this, that means whenever a new feature comes out, they want it to work. So they're going to incentivize you to use it. And they do that by giving you extra reach and all the benefits that follow on from that. This has happened with every new Threads feature, and it happened when Threads first came out. This is just how it works and how the platform continues to grow. So that is why this really matters. It's a very powerful categorization system, and it's a very powerful boosting mechanism because it's a new feature that's literally just being rolled out now. If you know how to use it properly, then you'll have an unfair advantage. Sound good? Let's continue. All right, let's look at this. The feature is these little chips. If you go to your bio on mobile only, you'll see these little tags. I'm calling them chips, and it's a way for you to get extra reach on the platform. That's the basics. We've got the what, which is the chips. The why is it's a clear signal to raise your relevance score. And if you have a higher score, you've got greater distribution. The how is you want to pick words that people are already tapping. That was a very quick overview. Let me dive into what each of those mean. So firstly, the chips, they will synchronize with search. So let's say I have threads growth as a chip. If I search for threads growth, then you can see here, like I've already used it a bunch, but it basically means that if you're putting it in your bio as a chip, it's making your profile easily discovered. So here's an example. I am Maz Haramed, threads growth. See what I mean? He did use the word threads growth in there, but the whole point of this is that if you've got the chip in your bio, it makes you more discoverable in search. And that is the same thing for the For You feeds and also the custom feeds. And that brings me to this point here. If you have a chip, it will automatically be created as a custom feed. And I'll get to the significance of that later. So now the how, like how do you actually choose your own chips? I'll give you a demonstration of how I have chosen mine, and I'm giving you a step-by-step process so you can do the same. It includes a prompt or two for ChatGPT so you can make it much easier. The key thing you need to know about what we've discussed so far is that the algorithm is going to favor content that matches what other people are looking for. So if you make it easy to tell the algorithm that I talk about XYZ, the algorithm, by using those key terms, the algorithm will then be like, oh, cool. So you've told me that you care about threads growth, threads, creator economy, school, etc. I'm going to go and show that to people who use these terms in their content, but on steroids, because we've got that first mover advantage. With that being said, here is how I'm going to do my chip stack. You can have 10 in total. I suggest you use all 10. Hopefully that's clear by now. The more, the merrier, because you'll be able to show up in more Netflix categories, right? I'll describe and explain in detail exactly why I chose these specific ones, but just to show you what this looks like, to make it nice and easy, when this feature is here, if you've got it already, click the plus button. I've already got threads growth. I'm going to click on threads. That's one. I'm going to delete first thread. Then I'm going to go for creator economy. And while I'm adding these remaining 6, have a think about why I've chosen these. You can have a total of 10. That's a shame. And lucky last, entrepreneur. There we go. Did I get that right? Entrepreneurship. Yep. All right. And that is my 10 chips. Once I've added them in there, if you go onto my threads profile now, you'd see threads growth and then threads first. And if you click on the +8, you'd see the full list. As a visitor on my profile, you can go and take a look at school and see what people are posting about regarding school. You see how it's an easy way for you to find your people on the platform. So why this stack works for me, honeypot keywords. Like I invented the threads growth tag. So I'm going to use that because that's the thing, right? That's more specific than threads. But people who normally like want platform specific information will use that word in their search term in the search bar on Threads. So that one's general. Then I'm also looking at stuff that's got to do with like money. So creator economy and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is broader, creator economy is more narrow, and they're both addressing people who want more of one or the more specific one. It's got the community aspect because I'm big on school and community building, and it's got aspects of speed and scale, talking about copywriting and AI writing. The key part is you want to have a mix of broad reach chips and narrow reach chips. Let me explain it another way. If I come onto your profile and I see that you've got your 10 chips listed in your bio, and then I just see 10 super broad chips, say it's entrepreneurship, self-improvement, personal branding, online business, growth mindset, whatever. It's good, and you're going to get a lot of broad reach, but none of it's going to be like, oh, wow, you're my person. I'm going to follow you. But let's say someone comes onto my profile and they see school, friends, Threads growth, AI writing. It's just more specific, and it's an easier way for me to connect with others who see my profile. Because the more specific your content is, the easier it is to resonate with people. Bear in mind what the opposite of that is. You still want to have the broader reach to have like almost a broad funnel and then specific content. So that is my Power 10 chip stack. And I'll give you a checklist about how you can implement this yourself, and I'll be giving that to you at the end. But that's just how we actually implement the chips. Nice and easy. So now moving on to this thread chip movement. This is a chip that I'm going to create, and I'll give you the problem with what this, obviously I'm an advocate for this feature, but it's not fully built out yet, and I need your help to make it a movement. Basically, I'm going to create a new chip because, as Mock said at the start, if you go into this feature, if you've already got access to it, and then type in something niche that you are interested in, it just doesn't come up. That's because so far, you can only use Meta's approved catalog of chips. And if it's not in that catalog, you can't use it. Now, French chip, this word is not in that catalog. How do we change that? Yeah, I think it's here. There are how many ways? Yeah, okay. So essentially, you can flood the feed with it, and that will be telling Meta that this is something that we want to make legit. So for example, if I wanted to add Saints College, there we go. It's there. This has been used enough times so that it's told Meta that it's legit and we can add it as a chip. OCD, and I don't like the fact that there's no space there, so that's why I didn't add it. But we will later. The reason I bring that up is because if we use this chip together, the thread chip, this is what I believe it will do for you. What it stands for is like, I've got your back on Threads, and you care about the Threads community, and you care about engaging with people and helping others grow in whatever the word grow means to you, whether it's on Threads or just generally. The problem is, as I said, it's not whitelisted yet. So the solution is we use this as a tag to make it whitelisted. How do we do that? I'm going to show you. And this is your post template, by the way, and I'll share it in the chat, or you can use it as take a screenshot of it. This is what I'm going to get all of the adventurous friends on the call to do with me by the end. And as you can see, there's a little shout out deal here as well. But I'm going to be posting this, and This is a proven viral post template. I'm not saying it will 100% do really well for you, but I am saying I've seen this do very well countless times. 1,000 plus likes, hundreds of followers. I'm going to show you exactly how you can too. You take that viral post template, then you have your threads like posting window up, as you can see on my screen. You add a topic, and you can add a new topic. The more times we use the topic, the more times that's telling Meta we can add it as a chip. So that is my post. You can make this a thing by saying that, and then add the handle of someone else that you want to mention to do the same. Now, why are you tagging me? Because I will be shouting out the first 10 people who do in a post that I publish tomorrow. This won't be just a basic shout out to these 10 people. I'm going to integrate it into a super valuable post that has really good information in it beforehand. First 10 people who tag me in my notifications will get that. For the sake of a live example, are you still Hope Engineer, Prof. Sam? You are. Cool. So key points there: add the tag friendship, use the exact wording everyone who loves, put your first 10 in there, put this final sentence in, I hope you find my account, and then use that I was tagged by at Lennox Saint, and then add someone else to continue the movement. Do this if you want to have the shout out, and if you want to start really connecting with people who care about threads and growing on threads. Click on that. Yeah, there we go. So that's how we do it. Now, what are some use cases for you with chips? How can you use this specifically to help you grow on threads and find your people better? The most conventional way is to position yourself. Someone comes onto your profile and they see your chips, and it's a way of positioning yourself as an authority on those 10 chips. A creative twist on that more conventional use case is to add something aspirational. So instead of saying writer, maybe you're saying book writing, because it's implying that either you're doing it right now or it's something that you're in the process of becoming. Trends, micro niche, especially for people who are just coming onto the platform. A creative twist on that is you can rotate your chips weekly. Now, there isn't analytics to go and do this yet, so it's hard to track. But the point is that because of chips, your bio is no longer a billboard. It's a dynamic feed of your interests. And that is going to be really powerful. And I think that represents a cool shift in social media generally. You can also do collabs. So I might put in a chip some well-known creator's name. If it's already whitelisted, they might do the same for you. That could be pretty cool. It's one of those things where we don't know how it's going to play out until we see it play out. You can do a launch countdown. If you get more access to creating your own chips, imagine putting your own product in there as a way to generate hype about it. And then you've also got a custom feed funnel. So as you saw, when I posted friendship and clicked this, it goes to this funnel. And then if people have already seen this, and then they're scrolling through, and then they see my post, they click on my name, and now they've found my profile. So you're just getting more reach. Those were 5 ideas that I thought we could check out. To start bringing this college class to a close, here is what I would do if I were you to make the most out of this new feature. On the face of it, they're just a few buttons on your profile. But hopefully throughout this class, it's become clear that there's a lot more going on under the hood. If you capitalize on it now, you'll be able to benefit from it with the boosted reach that a new feature always gets on threads. And the yeah, no, Sam, I'm so close. And the just finding it easier to find the people that you care about. Also, if you're a Threads newbie, Going through this process and the prompts that I'm about to give you will basically be telling you what your niche 1.0 is. And that's super valuable in and of itself. I cannot tell you how much clarity I got when I outlined that I want to frame my content around self-improvement, online business, and mental models when I first started on Threads. That gave me a lens through which I started posting, and here we are now, where I've got the niche. With all that being said, here's how I would go about creating your 10 chips. Jot down 3 pillars. So for me, those pillars were self-improvement, online business, mental models. 2 monetization angles. No worries, Mark. Great to have you on the call. 2 monetization angles. So something, if that is within your niche. For me, it was creator economy and what was the other one? Entrepreneurship. That has undertones of money. Anastasia, yep, we're getting to that. You also want to have something that's a bit quirky, something that's uniquely you or represents what is weird about you. I'm a firm believer in being weird on Threads because everyone is weird deep down, but they hide it because of social conventions. The more you lean into your weirdness, the more you will grow because you're being authentic. My one quirk is friends. I invented the word, so I'm going to put it in there. Use this live viral post template as a way to make official the fact that you've got your 10 chips. It's a great way to take action and join the movement. After you have done your quirk, let's say I'm talking about self-improvement as one of my 3 pillars. I'm going to search that in Threads and see what comes up. Maybe I start seeing the word exercise. So that could be an interest that I jot down. Maybe I see the word fitness and I resonate more with fitness and exercise. So I jot that down. I do that for all of the pillars and angles and the quirks that I'd already written until I've got this long list. The more the merrier. Then what I would do is literally just copy and paste that list into ChatGPT and ask it to rank them by relevance. And you could use that word curiosity pop or rank them by, I don't know. Actually, I did have a prompt, so I'll put that in the chat now. There we go. Prompts in the chat. Give me 10 broad and hyper-specific subtopics my dream audience obsessively searches from the following list. Rank them from best to worst. Put the top 10, or if it gives you 2 lists of 10, just choose the top 5 from each, the broad and the hyper-specific. Take those top 10 and then put them as chips in your bio now. If you don't have access to the feature yet, go and use this top 10 list and then use the viral post template to still benefit from at least the tag itself, the friendship tag. Then you've got the template, you've got your shortlist, we've got the prompt. What I would do, I'll definitely be doing it, is I'll be going into the friendship custom feed and engaging with anyone who posted it as well. And then hopefully I can share this with you. I'll do that in Saints College. The idea is that if you take action on this stuff, bottom line is more reach, you find your people, you define your niche. What was that 4th one? Now I've had a brain fart. The clarity. I think it was just the clarity about defining your niche and how you're able to get the people that you really want, because this stands for something that is bigger than just more followers. Some people might have been having these questions that are on the slide, but I just want to make sure that I haven't missed any. Notion, yeah. Can we use our target audience profile? For example, in my case, I work with all sorts of home buyers, but specifically, I want to target first-time home buyers and then buying a home as a business owner. That's a great point. I would say use the terms, the topics that those home buyers would be searching for or commonly use themselves, because it's more of a topic section rather than a call out section. I think the call out section is better in your actual bio. So whatever you would say to your target audience, put that in your bio, and then use the actual topics that your target audience searches for as the chips. Mock, he's already left, but already addressed the fact that you can't add some chips yet. But as I said, if you flood the feed with the chip, and as this feature gets rolled out more, you'll be able to add it. Yep, there's a limit of 10 chips in total. Anastasia, if your chip is 2 or more words, use spaces. Threads is not like other platforms where you use hashtags and you don't have any spaces between the words. They're just called tags on Threads, and you can have spaces between them to a limit. And I think it's X number of characters. Sam was being nice to me because I managed to do the class in 30 minutes. This is my first time doing a 30-minute college class. Cut me some slack. Can you show again or tell where to find ad chips? Sure thing. But if you go onto your profile on mobile only, and it is still being rolled out. So if you have not got any sort of section here, it means that it hasn't been rolled out to you yet, but it will be very soon. I'd highly recommend you go through this process of defining what your 10 chips are, because it was very clarifying for me. If it is there on mobile, you should just see a plus button. You click it, add interests, add a topic. If I deleted that one, you search for the topic. If there are no search results for it, it means that it hasn't been whitelisted by Meta yet. And it will be as the feature gets rolled out more, or if you flood the feed with tags that use what that interest is, like we've done with friendship. Let me see if I've missed anything. Yeah, it'll roll out soon. Wait, how often should you swap them? It says monthly rotations. Honestly, weekly, but there's no right or wrong here because this is still a new feature and there isn't a playbook for it. Have fun with it and play around with it. Weekly would probably be a good cadence. If the micro niche isn't in the catalog yet, as I said, flood the feed and be patient. And if you would like to get dialed in with this, take a screenshot of your analytics if you're using Black Twist or just in the analytics on Threads himself before you change a chip. Wait for a week, take another screenshot of the analytics, see what's changed. It's not going to be a perfect test. It might just give you a little bit of a gut feeling. Any more questions before we... All right, this was an AI-powered presentation. I put the script in here and it created all this. I think that's pretty impressive. As you can see here, this is the stuff we nerd out about in Full Circle. It's our paid community, and we have a 7-day free trial. We give you $500 worth of free stuff, the stuff that we've gotten in this class today. Prompts, 7 days of viral post templates, and a free personalized growth and monetization roadmap that helps you get the clarity you need to actually grow on Threads and develop a business from it in a way that's in alignment with you. So if you'd like to do that, I'll put the link in the chat. If it's not the most valuable 7-day free trial you've ever had, I'll honestly tell you to leave because that means I haven't done my job.